Hey guys, what's up?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Rise of the Guardians. It was like, what, forever ago?
As always, you guys had some really great comments concerning Rise of the Guardians, so let's check them out. Megan Matz agrees with us how the ending felt really rushed, and I thought it was interesting how she pointed out that because it felt rushed, it really kind of took away the threat that Pitch had the whole time. Like, it made it seem like he wasn't really that threatening the whole time, which, yeah, I totally agree with.
Audrey Zhang brings up the point that Pitch is a flat villain because he's evil for the sake of being evil. Most of the times when you see a villain in a movie, we want them to have a reasoning or maybe a skewed sense of reality where they think everything they're doing is a good thing, where they look at themselves as being the good guy in their own story. But Pitch is more or less just evil incarnate, and I think that's what the movie wanted him to be. They didn't really want him to have any more depth than he just likes to cause fear and he thrives off of fear. Another example of this type of villain would be something in like The Fifth Element, where that big black all-consuming mass or whatever it's supposed to be doesn't really have a purpose or a reason for existing. It just sort of is evil incarnate. But then again, I really didn't like The Fifth Element, so I'd have to agree with Audrey Zhang in saying that Pitch does come off as more of a flat character because he doesn't necessarily have substance or reason for acting the way that he does.
Cuddlefish 3011 critiques our ideas of how the staff should have fixed itself because it felt convenient, saying that the reason he has to do it himself is because he doesn't believe in himself, and after that whole revelation, this is now showing the audience that he now believes in himself and believes himself to be a Guardian, which is a really good observation, a really good critique, and I would definitely take back what we previously said about it. My other flip side critique would be just, I believe that's what they were trying to do, but I don't know if that was overly clear. So it would have been really cool if they could have really heightened that and made that more clear that that was why that scene was in there.
Massive Geek talks about how the idea of the Guardian Center being a theme in the film kind of gets forced into the film as it continues to progress, which I kind of agree and I kind of don't agree. When Santa is talking about his center being wonder and whatnot, we really understand Santa, and we kind of see that throughout the rest of the film as that being his center, and then we understand that Jack is struggling to figure out what his center is. What is his point? What's his purpose? That's kind of his whole deal throughout the film. Probably if they would have just dialed it back and not tried to play up everyone having a center as much as maybe just North trying to convince Jack that he is a Guardian because he needs to find his center, and then we just see North's center, and then Easter Bunny and Tooth probably could have been pushed to the side as not necessarily having as strong of a center. That way it's not so overly apparent. I do like it in the film, but I agree. It comes off a little too strong and forced in the other characters.
Bronze Wool talks about the moment after Easter is ruined when all the Guardians just immediately turn on Jack, and Jack really doesn't even defend himself. So this big separation kind of out of nowhere, and I agree with that a lot when I was watching the film. I felt that in that moment too. It didn't feel like it made sense why everybody was so to that level of mad. And ultimately, it just felt like the writers needed to get Pitch and Jack alone. And although I don't have an issue with them needing to do that, it's interesting that that moment didn't really feel natural enough, so the writing came to the surface. Whereas we should be engulfed in the story and not be thinking about the writing choices, which is super interesting. And yeah, I agree that wasn't really founded. There wasn't really a good enough reason for everybody to be that mad in that moment, so it came off that way. So yeah, totally.
TV Queen Master comment talking about how there's a lot of areas in the film and that they were kind of all over the place and they didn't spend a lot of time in any one area. I don't know if I necessarily agree that that's a bad thing. At least in Rise of the Guardians, they are actively doing things in all of these areas. They're trying to battle Pitch or trying to get a leg up on him and sort of beat him to the punch.
And Def and Stratton K's comment, I think it's really interesting because they talk about how they weren't really into the film because the plot was so underdeveloped, but they talk about how the good points was the character development and how just they felt that they spent more time on the character development and then the plot sort of struggled. Which, I can totally see it. I think it's an interesting flip to what I think happens a lot in films these days, which is really complex stories and plots, but the characters are sort of missing. I think a great example is Epic. I really felt like that had a really great story and the plot was there. It's just the characters were more or less underdeveloped. So I think the interesting point is coming away from the film. When I come away from Rise of the Guardians, I felt more satisfied, I suppose, because I liked the characters and I got behind them. Whereas epic I didn't come away as strongly from. But obviously, the opposite is true for Deft and Stratton-Kate. I think that's really interesting. And obviously, in a movie, you should have everything should be really tight, and you should have strong characters and everything. But it's just, I feel like if you have to sacrifice one or the other, I feel like you should always focus more on characters. But that's a personal thing for me. I'd be interested in just seeing what you guys think.
So that's that.
Just tell us what
Rise
you
of
guys
the
think in the comments. We really would like to know.
Checking it out. We love reading
Typical
you guys' comments. You
Tumblrs,
always got a lot of cool stuff to say.
Facebooks,
like, comment,
Twitters,
subscribe.
whatever social media sites.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you guys have a good day.
Check out our other videos and put them up in multiple tabs. Open up your Firefox, your Google Chrome, Internet Explorer. Get on your PlayStation networks. Open up Opera on your Wii, even though internet function's been discontinued for the Wii's. So go out and buy a Wii U and, watch our videos on there. Get an abacus and program it to make GIFs of our videos. That's your homework. Bye. Thanks.